Hey guys, welcome to a new video. We got the patch notes for update 7.1 today, and I treated myself to a new microphone. So in case you're wondering why it's a new microphone again, it's really a new one that I wanted to have for quite some time. It's a Rode Pod mic, no advertisement here, paid for it myself, so it's not sponsored. But I want to try it out on video and on stream for a bit and see if it is what I'm looking for. So, back to the update. It will arrive next Tuesday on April 16th alongside the new mid-season event. If you haven't seen my last video yet, be sure to check it out, because over there I'm explaining everything around the event, around its frontlines mode, and also show some of the cosmetics that you can buy and also unlock. And I just have one little correction about the event, because in yesterday's video I said the event runs for 3 weeks, but that's wrong, because it actually runs for 2 weeks. Some of you have pointed it out in the comments. Thanks a lot for this. I didn't want to cause any confusion. The dates were correct. It runs from April 16th to the 30th. I just messed up in counting the weeks. I don't know what happened there. So it's 2 weeks, not 3 weeks. And it won't be an infantry only mode apparently, because in the trailer there was a tank wreaking havoc on Haven, so only Redacted should be infantry only, but the other 3 maps shouldn't be. That's so far to the event. However, moving on to the update now, we will go through the most important changes in this video as usual, but if you want to read through the full notes yourself, you can find the link to them in the description below. And I guess we're going to start it off with all the changes made to the Visual Recoil System, because that's the biggest part of the update and it's probably also the one that's most interesting for you. So the Visual Recoil System was introduced in update 7.0 at the start of Season 7, and alongside of this introduced some issues with weapons being all over the place. In update 7.01 that was released last week, they already solved some issues with the advances going all over the place, for example, and also some issues with the AK-24 not being aligned with its optics. And now in update 7.1 they will correct most of the rest of the player reported issues. So the virtual recoil on multiple weapons sights and specific weapon sight combinations will be adjusted, which also includes the issue where the reticle is moving out of the center of the screen that was pointed out by Anders in one of his videos. The weapons that are affected by these fixes, and that's quite a long list actually, is the DM7, G428, BSVM, SVK, VCAR and M39 EMR, so almost all of the DMRs, because they were really heavily affected by this. Then the P90 as only SMG, the DXR1 as only sniper rifle, the RPT31, PKPBP, M240B as LMGs, the AK-5C as the only assault rifle, and the BFP-50 as only sidearm. They also fixed the weapon sights, which hopefully means that the scope glint was now finally removed from the Raven 4 times and the PSO 5 times, because in the last patch notes for update 7.0 they said that will be removed, but when I tested it, it was still there. So this is hopefully part of the fix as well, and all 4 times and 5 times optics won't have a scope glint anymore, and only the optics with 6 times and higher will have scope glint. I will test it once the update went live. Talking about scope glint, they also removed it from the XM8 ACOG sight, which should be a 4 times as well if I remember correctly. But on the M95 sniper rifle that is only available over on Portal, they added scope glint to the default scope and the 12 times scope. Then we also got some other weapon changes, cause the AK-5C got a little buff and its damage up to 50 meters was increased from 25 to 26, but that doesn't change the bullets to kill, not even on headshots. So it's still 3 headshots and 4 body shots, and the weapon's hipfire recoil pattern was also changed to have a little less pull to the right. I didn't even recognize it pulled to the right. Anyways, then for the SC-Z3, the dispersion of the standard issue ammunition was increased by roughly 8%, so it should be a little less accurate on mid and long range now. The Type 88 LMG on the other hand gets its recoil and dispersion reduced by about 10%, so the weapon should be a bit easier to handle after the update, which makes it even stronger. And the AKS-70 has its starting accuracy increased by 10%, but also the horizontal recoil slightly increased, and the rate of fire will be increased as well from 650 to 675. Some interesting weapon tweaks here, definitely something to try out next week on stream. In addition to this, we will get some major shotgun improvements. The goal of this is to reduce the effectiveness of hipfire at medium ranges to require a higher level of skill for the shotguns. I'm not sure that works out, let's see. So all shotguns have their pellet distribution adjusted in hipfire and in aimed fire, and the spread will now differ between hipfire and aim down sights, which wasn't the case before apparently. Which means the spread will be tighter when aiming down sights, in most cases with the same spread as before, and in some cases slightly tighter, but when hip firing, the pellet spread will now be wider. So hipfire will only be useful in close quarters, and when you want to hit a shot at medium range, you need to aim down sights. For the MCS 880, this means no changes in aimed fire, but in hipfire the spread will be almost doubled. For the 12mm auto with the default barrel, there are also no changes in aimed fire, but in hipfire it receives about 1.5 times more spread. And with a shortened barrel, the aim down sight spread is slightly reduced from 1.5 times to 1.25 times. And the hipfire spread is also around 1.5 times more compared to what it was before. Plus, the pellet spread will now also slightly increase when the weapon is fired in quick succession, so also in full auto. For the NVK S22, the aim down sight spread also stays the same, and the hipfire spread is increased by a multiplier of 1.5. Plus, the reload speed gets slightly increased, which definitely comes in handy on this one, because it was always a bit of a pain to reload it. And for the Super 500, the aim down sight spread is reduced by 0.75 times compared to hipfire, so it will be a little more accurate in ADS after the update. In addition to all of this, we also got some specialist changes, and here the engineer class got a little buff, because after the update there will be one more rocket for all dump-fired rocket launchers available, such as the Recoil SM5 and the RPG. And Crawford will also benefit from this, so he can still carry one more rocket than the other engineers. In addition, the size of the AT mines was increased by 5 to 10% to improve their visibility for vehicle drivers. And at the end, we also got two important vehicle fixes, and the first one is for the EBLC RAM, where the spawn beacon didn't function sometimes, and the second one, finally, should fix the issue with the misaligned crosshair on several armored vehicles. And that was it for today. Quite some changes, quite some stuff to try out next week. And if you enjoyed the video, be sure to drop a like or comment below, and don't forget to subscribe to the channel for more content like this. Until then, thanks for watching. My members for the additional support. I'm the Catwoman, and you are awesome.